By the end of this episode, you'll feel sorry for lottery winners. Hi there, everyone. It's Jeff, and this is Plain English on Monday, November 10th, 2025. At Plain English, we tell stories about current events and trending topics. The audio goes just a bit slower than normal speed so you can understand every word. We also help you build your skills in English with quizzes, exercises, translations, and the chance to practice speaking in English. All that is at plainenglish.com. Now, each episode has a story, and today's story will make you feel sorry for lucky winners who won an incredible prize, $5,000 per week for life. Hey, that's pretty good. That doesn't make you fabulously wealthy, but that's pretty good. They won $5,000 per week for the rest of their lives. And at the end of this episode, you're going to feel sorry for them. But you have to listen to find out why. When you're done listening, you get to be the winner. You get to extend your English learning at plainenglish.com/816, where you can take a quiz, practice your pronunciation, do the listening exercises, and more. plainenglish.com/816. Before we start today's story, I'd just like to remind you that the podcast is just one part of how we can help you upgrade your English skills. At plainenglish.com, you can make faster progress with active learning strategies. You can take quizzes, do activities, listen to the fast version of the audio, watch video workshops, practice what you learn, and even join a live call with JR and me. It's all about helping you build your skills to become a better, more confident English speaker. Sound good? Go to plainenglish.com to start your free 14-day trial today. Now, let's jump into today's story. It's hard to imagine now, but there was a time when it was difficult to find something interesting to read. Long before social media algorithms, Substack, websites, and blogs, there were printed magazines. But how did people know what magazines to subscribe to? For decades, the answer was from a door-to-door salesman. Publishers hired armies of salesmen to knock on doors around America and sign up new subscribers in person. But in the 1950s, an entrepreneur had an idea. He would replace the door-to-door salesman with direct mail. For just a few cents in printing and postage, he could get lists of magazines into people's homes, and those people could send a reply envelope with the magazines they wanted to buy, along with a check. The company was called Publishers Clearing House, and it offered American households a wide variety of interesting magazines from multiple publishers. It was a one-stop shop for a family's print entertainment. The company sold millions of subscriptions each year and kept a hefty commission on each sale. Over time, though, consumers got used to throwing away the Publishers Clearinghouse envelopes without opening them. So the company needed a new way to convince people to open the envelopes and browse the magazines. That's when the sweepstakes idea was born. A sweepstakes is like a lottery, but under U.S. law, private companies are not allowed to charge money for a chance to win a prize. Entry has to be free. On its own, a sweepstakes is not worth it. But if it's combined with a sales pitch or a marketing campaign, it can be quite profitable indeed. Publishers Clearinghouse used a sweepstakes to get people to open their envelopes and then buy magazines. So what did the sweepstakes promise? It was a chance to win a cash prize or a luxury gift. The initial prizes were modest, just $1,000 to $5,000 per winner. But that was enough to pique people's curiosity, to get them to open the envelopes where they saw the sales pitch for the magazines. To drum up interest, Publishers Clearinghouse made a spectacle of its prize winners. A crew would show up at a winner's house with an enormous, oversized check, balloons everywhere, and cameras filming the whole thing. It was called the Prize Patrol. They'd ring the doorbell and surprise the winner on camera. These scenes became TV commercials, winners jumping up and down, tears of joy streaming down their faces as they received a massive check. The legend of Publishers Clearinghouse grew. Soon, the giveaways were more famous than the magazines they were selling. The mailers only got more clever. The most famous envelopes said, "You may already be a winner." All you had to do was send back an envelope to find out if you've won the big prize. Other envelopes said in huge letters, "You won." And then in tiny letters it said, "If you have the winning number." This outrageous marketing got people opening the envelopes, and they couldn't help but think that their chances might be a little better if they got a magazine subscription or two in the process. As the legend grew, so did the prizes. They started giving away boats, private planes, and prizes over $1 million. One was $10 million. One of the most famous prizes was $5,000 per week for life. Remember that one, because we'll come back to it. $5,000 a week for life. That's a big prize, especially since contestants didn't have to pay to enter. Publishers Clearinghouse must have been making a lot of money on magazine subscriptions to afford to pay out such large prizes. And they were making a lot of money on subscriptions for a while. The heyday of Publishers Clearinghouse was in the 1980s and 1990s, but the company struggled to grow in the internet age. Magazine readership declined, and those consumers who did read magazines didn't need to buy them through the mail. The company later got into trouble with lawsuits for deceptive marketing. Scammers used the Publishers Clearinghouse name to trick elderly people into thinking they had won. In April 2025, Publishers Clearinghouse declared bankruptcy. And that had a very strong effect on a select group of people, the winners of the $5,000 a week for life prize. The winners didn't actually get $5,000 every week. They got a single direct deposit of $260,000 every year at the beginning of the year. But this year, 2025, the money didn't arrive. Winners started to get nervous. What was going on? They asked the company about the late payments, but couldn't get a straight answer. Then the news about the bankruptcy came out. Publishers Clearinghouse didn't have enough money to pay past prize winners the $5,000 a week for life that they had won. Another company bought Publishers Clearinghouse out of bankruptcy. But bankruptcy in America wipes out past debts. And the promises to past winners were debts like any other. Those $5,000 a week for life winners will not get any more money. This will come as a shock to winners who organized their lives around the money. One prize winner said he sold some of his possessions and will probably lose his house. Another said it was cruel that the company promised to change people's lives and then cut the cord. This is an inglorious end to what was really a cultural phenomenon. Publishers Clearinghouse was so famous. They created this image as the company that changed lives, that brought happiness to your front door. You never knew if the doorbell rang in the middle of the day and you weren't expecting a visitor. Could it be the prize patrol? People looked forward to receiving the envelopes. It was free to enter, so it was better than buying a lottery ticket. Now, I was surprised that they declared bankruptcy in 2025. I wasn't surprised they declared bankruptcy. I was surprised they were still around in 2025. I mean, magazine subscriptions through the mail. Who knew that was still a business? But to be honest, I had forgotten that they sold magazines. They were just so famous for the prizes. So do you feel bad for the prize winners? The ones who are losing their annual prize payout, the lifetime prize that lasted quite a bit less than a lifetime? Do you feel sorry for them? Their lives were changed by Publishers Clearinghouse twice. First, when they got the surprise knock on the door, and second, when they found out the money will stop. How can you promise a payout for life if you don't have the money set aside to keep the promise? I think I feel bad for the winners. I hope they saved some of what they got in previous years. Anyway, that's all for us here at Plain English. This was episode number 816. That means our friend JR, the producer, has uploaded the transcript, translations, quiz, exercises, and more to plainenglish.com/816. plainenglish.com/816. We'll be back on Thursday with a new story. See you then. Listen up if you speak Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, German, French, Italian, Japanese, Polish, or Turkish. One of the most frustrating things about listening and reading in a second language is being confused by unfamiliar words or phrases. When you listen to Plain English, or when you read the transcript, you probably encounter some words you don't know. When that happens, you have a few options. You can stop the audio, go look up the definition, then return to the episode, find your place, and press play again, but that's exhausting. Or you can just skip it and be confused. That's no fun either. But what if you could see the translation of the word into your language instantly without having to stop the audio, without having to look anything up? Well, you can at plainenglish.com. For each episode, we translate about 100 words and phrases from English to 9 languages: Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, German, French, Italian, Japanese, Polish, and Turkish. And we highlight those words in blue. All you have to do is hover your mouse over the highlighted word and you'll see the translation instantly. It works great on mobile too. It really makes listening a lot more satisfying, and it's a great way to expand your vocabulary in English. The best way to see these translations is to sign up for a free 14-day trial at plainenglish.com. During your trial, you can read as many transcripts as you like, all with the translations into your language. So sign up for your free trial today at plainenglish.com.